Introduction. This book is about dogs who growl, snarl, snap, and bite when you try to take things away from them, approach them when they are eating or working on a chew, or when they are approached on a comfy resting or sleeping location. There's also some counsel about dogs who don't tolerate body handling. These are all remarkably common issues, but, luckily, can often be successfully resolved. They're even easier to prevent, so we'll talk about prevention at the end. If you're not a trainer and this is new for you, I recommend hiring a competent applied behavior practitioner to help you. There are good trainers out there as well as veterinary professionals who are well-versed in behavior modification. Good places to look are the Academy for Dog Trainers referral list, the Pet Professionals Guild's referral list, and the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior. Make sure any practitioner you hire uses modern methods that avoid the use of pain and fear. If a trainer advises some sort of special collar, choke, shock, or e-collar, prong collar, they are stuck in the mid-20th century. Avoid them. What it isn't. Myths about resource guarding. 1. That it is abnormal behavior. Guarding food, coveted objects, mates, and physical space are highly adaptive traits in a natural environment. If dogs had to fend for themselves tomorrow, guarders would have the survival edge over non-guarders. It is misleading to label this pathological. For sure, it's wonky to guard stuff that doesn't contribute to survival or reproduction, but the original version, guarding scarce resources in a natural setting, has good evolutionary value. 2. That because it is largely genetically driven, rather than learned, it is more difficult to modify. There is actually no tidy correlation between how much a behavior is thought to be genetically influenced and its susceptibility to behavior modification. Resource guarding is a stellar example of this. It requires no learning and so falls under the huge genetic component category, and yet is highly modifiable. 3. That it can be cured by making the dog realize that resources are abundant. This logic-based approach tries to convince the dog that there's no reason to guard, as resources are plentiful. Free feeding and so on. Alas, it would seem dogs do not learn this way, though. Luckily, they do respond to other measures described later. 4. That it is a symptom of a dominant or pushy personality in a dog. This is largely a legacy of old social hierarchy models as an explanation for so much of dog behavior, as well as springboards for treatment techniques. We now know that not only is social dominance not a driver of resource guarding, it's not a driver of anything at all. Luckily, it's fallen out of favor and rarely invoked anymore. Resource guarding responds well to desensitization and counter-conditioning, and to well-executed operant techniques, which sidesteps altogether questions about places in imaginary hierarchies. 5. That it is a result of spoiling the dog. Resource guarding is an equal opportunity behavior problem. It crops up in all breeds and in dogs with all kinds of life histories. Plus, spoiled is a pretty problematic term. People might label dogs spoiled because their basic needs are being met, or because they are well loved and their lives are relatively free of aversives. Dogs are sometimes so labeled when their owners are struggling with training. But there is no evidence that being kind to dogs has anything to do with resource guarding. And many dogs with fantastic manners present with resource guarding. While it tends to crop up at social maturity, between ages 1 and 3 years for most dogs, it can come on much earlier and occasionally after age 3. Precocious breeds such as Chows, Shibas, and some terriers start guarding as small puppies.